So today's agenda is to why we use array list, drawbacks of the array list, and what is toString method, and what is static block, how to use array list, class type array list. So this week 2 or 3 classes maybe of array list, and then one class for all like map, set, everything, and you can give that same pace. And here 3-4 mini projects of on array list, right? So this will be a next level. You can say after practicing this much of assignments you will be able to do anything in this Selenium. So I am starting. People who are joining late may refer recordings. Okay, so I will say one thing, that please don't be too reliable on these recordings, because I am not having the Wi-Fi connection as of now for 2 or 3 weeks, so I am using mobile data. So maybe recordings will be uploaded later on, so also else will see thinking that I will be referring the recordings, then it might be late, so there may be problem in Selenium, right? So I will be trying to resolve this, but as of now you have to uh, face this issue. Okay, so I'm starting with the array list. So you know that what is array, right? So what happens in array, you can, there are some restrictions of array, and what are those restrictions? First one is that array stores similar kind of data. This is one of the limitation with array, right? Second is that array are fixed in size. Right? So once suppose you defined an integer type of array, first restriction is the similar kind of data, means single data type it can store, only single data type, right? So array can store only single data type. So suppose integer, you want to store roll number of a student, roll number is equal to new int, and here you define the size, right? So what is limitation with that, that you can only store an integer value to this variable, right? You cannot store string in it, right? And second thing is that if you have defined the size 5, then you cannot increase it dynamically. On runtime you have to be restricted on this size. Suppose you have in future 10 roll numbers to store, you have 10 students, new admission are there, so array concept will be failing there, right? So to overcome with this problem we have collections, right? Collection can store data on runtime, like we define array list, and here can say student role student data, right? St, I am just defining st is equal to new array list. And collections have many kind, like list, and list have array list and linked list, right? And the second thing is that what is this comment, you can, if you are saying something, just unmute yourself and ask me, right? Tell me, otherwise I will not able to see these comments, right? So sound is slow, so you may unmute yourself and then tell me so that I can proceed. Now, okay. See, if I'll be removing my mic, so sound will be good, but there may be problem, recording will not having that sound, right? So I am trying to fix out these problems. So whatever you guys have to say, just unmute and say and directly, so that I cannot switch over the screen, right? I don't need to do that then. Okay, now I'm okay with Bilal. Now it's okay. Okay. So please unmute yourself. Sorry, mute yourself. Okay. So new array list, and here I can add st dot add roll number. You can pass 101 instead of roll number. St dot add, you can pass string, right? So here with the roll number 101, you can similarly add 102. This is second roll number. St dot add, and here suppose you like Bilal, right? So you see that this you can add numeric value, right, integer value and the string value in array list. But if this is so much powerful, why not go for the array list only? But there are some drawbacks of array list that I'll be showing you in next slide. Until here everybody is okay with the concept, why array list, what are the drawbacks of the array, and how can we utilize array list in that case. And second thing is that what are the drawbacks that upcoming in next slide. So everybody is okay with this concept? Okay. So next thing, what is the drawback with array list? Suppose you have 100 students data, right? Suppose you have data of 100 students. So what will you do? First you will define the array list. Array list st is equal to new array list. You will define like this. Now what will you do? St dot add 101 roll number. St dot add name Vandan. Similarly, st dot add roll number 102. St dot add Sumit, and this will be gone to 100 times, right? But what is the drawback with array list? The drawback with array list is that if you have stored 100 roll numbers, and I said that on runtime you can add one more, so there is no limitation of size with array list which have with the arrays, right? Array size is fixed, but you can use you can add these you can add data on array list on runtime, right? So if you want to add 101 roll number and name, then you can add with the array list on runtime. You don't need to worry about the sizes, right? So size is not fixed with array list. This is the advantage. But there is a one drawback, or you can say disadvantage of array list. Once you will be adding 101 number of the student data, so what it will do, it will create a new array list. Internally it will create a new array list and store all the hundreds data available in that array list. That will copy this data in a new array list. That will be happen internally. You will not able to see this, right? So it will copy 100 students data first, and then whatever you have added new 101 students data will be copied here. So this will be a new array list which will be created for you, and this older one will be available for garbage collection, right? So older one array list will be available for garbage collection. Before that it will be copying this data to new array list and adding new data to it, right? So what is the drawback of it? Suppose you have 10,000 student data, so this 10,000 data will be copied in the new array list, and then older one will be available for the garbage collection. But this will slow down the process, right? So this one will be the slow down the process, and performance of your application will be down. So performance will be down. So this is the drawback, just because it's copying to new and getting available the older one for the garbage collection. So array list performance is slow than the array. But suppose you, to overcome this problem, what you have to do, you have to do like this. Suppose you have multiple data to store in array, like int roll number new int. You can say okay, then I will make 10,000 data of the array, and this array will store the roll number, and this array name. This array will store the name. Then why not to use array? But suppose if you have to store only 5,000 students data, so 5,000 memory allocations will be wasted, right? So these are drawbacks of with array. So when to use array and when to use array list, this depends on that. If your focus is performance, right? If your focus is performance, then go for array, because array performance is better than array list. And if your focus is memory safety, memory, you want to save the memory of the system, then go for array list. Second thing, similar kind of data you need to store only array. Multiple data type if you want to use, then go for array list. If you don't have any concern with the performance and with the memory locations, then what you do prefer? Then based on requirement you have to decide, right? This may not be any time case that you don't have such concern. You have to think about this. If you don't have such concern, suppose client says that I have 100 GB space, right? Just use whatever you want to do. Then your coding skills will define what you are going to use, right? Based on the hierarchy. So I hope that this is clear. Why not, when to not use array list, when to use the array. Everybody is clear? Sikar, your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. Audible, but sometimes interruption in between. Just say, I will try to catch it. No. This is just an example. Suppose you have thousands of students, then it will first copy the thousands of students data into a new array list internally, and then it will add on first 10,000 plus 1 position, right? But this was the reason I have just given that example of 100 students, right? Don't relate it that this will be remain for hundreds only. No. Whenever not object name dot at you have added at that time, but in run type if you need to do that, then it will do that, right? So suppose in runtime things are different. Suppose you, when you use this switch case, you want to add more, right? So these are some different cases. So you, if you take user input, then you can feel the difference. And yes, this is the case that if you will add one more data, then first one array list will be deleted, right? For deleted will be internally, everything will same. Don't think that a new array list you need to define. No, it will be for same internally. The thing will happen that older one will be first copied to newer one, and then older one will be available for garbage collection. You actually, sometimes you are getting mute and sometimes your voice is mute.
Whenever we run the program, that time it will go to the garbage collection, or whenever we write the function at the time, means whenever write the object or the add.
As soon as you will add a new data, right? So previous one will be open for garbage collection. Before that it will copy data to newer one, right? This is,
Okay.
Can you draw and explain? Because it's not clear.
sorry.
Can you draw and explain if you don't mind? Because I know this concept is very important. So still we are not getting clearly actually. When it goes to package and so how it is copying, like duplicate and for the collection.
Internally what's happening, just you need to understand this. Internally how it's copying and how it's things, let me show what, but you have to think about this. Oh, oh shit. Wait guys, actually I was disconnected. Just I have shown to you. Your system is getting hung. Wait guys.
And then you are fine now.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, okay Sanjeev.
Yeah. Done.
Okay, actually I don't wanted to come to that, but suppose I have a class student, right? And here I have defined a roll number.
Can you share the screen?
Oh, you are not seeing this skill?
No, not yet.
Okay, okay, okay. I have not presented after rejoining. That's why.
I have one more question. So if suppose my old object is referring to something, right? And the same object, you are saying that the same array list will be created with the same object reference. How would it be eligible for garbage collection?
Actually, you don't assume the things, it is the part of internal things, right? So same object is there and compiler is responsible to perform these tasks. You don't need to worry about these things, right? Whatever internally happens we cannot see it, right? We can just assume it's happening because it's the internal process that are being developed by Java developers, right? So whatever we have to thought of that it's internally happens first is it makes a copy of you. You guys just have seen that if you copy a file and just try to paste in same location, so now you cannot say that how it's internally happen, right? How it's internally going, just because it will ask you to, that name will be something like copy, right? Copy will be added to new one just if you want to paste a same file inside same location. So these thing happens. So how internally things are going, we don't need to care about that, right? That's part of the system, right? That's it going internally, right? So why we think too much? Just understand, let me give my.
Was like my doubt was like whenever we create an object, we need to give unique object name, right? So if you are saying that it will create a new array list
Newer
with
one.
the object reference.
Okay, I understand. New object that is creating internally, you don't need to care about that, right? compiler internally doing the things for you. You don't need to worry about that I have to declare another object, right? Why do you need to declare that? You have declared your own. Array list concept itself says that it will internally do the things for you whenever you will add new data to it, right? So whatever internally is going, it's zero level programming. We don't need to worry about that, right? Let me explain little bit more. Suppose you have int roll number, string name, right? And now what, there is a constructor student with int name, roll number, comma, string name, and here you are storing data roll number is equal to roll number and name is equal to name. Here you have to perform this dot, but let it be first. Okay, now you have a main method inside a different class. Suppose class is main, and you are just creating array list of students, but you will not able to understand now. Suppose I am adding data to it. Suppose just array list, and this one is student type array list. st is equal to new array list. Okay, and here you want to add a student, right? New student. You have added 101 and Vandan. Suppose string value Vandan. st dot add new student 102 and suppose Sumit, right? So once you will add a new object to this, here you can see new student, this constructor is getting passed and new student was added. Previously what happened when you have created this array list, right? Like this array list is equal to new array list. So internally what happened, this, suppose this memory was allocated to this new student type because this was a class type. So what it have internally, roll number and name. Once you add value to it, so what happened, roll number is equal to 101, name is equal to Vandan first. Once you have again you have student dot add new student, right? So what, first there is a copy created, right? Copy was created for it and this data was copied here. So this data copied and you have added new, so another roll number and student name is added, Sumit, and this copy was deleted. Then yeah, it was available for garbage collection, right? So this is happening behind the scenes. Now why are we thinking that, why are we getting confused with that this object is, we don't, if we need to declare this object, this compiler is responsible to perform this task. If everything I have to perform, then why not prefer the array, right? And what internally, what type of picture is being created, either the triangle or circular. So what internally is going on, this doesn't we need to care, right? This compiler we need to care about, compiler we take care of. Suppose you add another one, st dot add student 3, so this will be there will be, you can say that there will be temporary based memory allocated, right? And this data will be copied to this array list and then new one will be added to it and this will be available for garbage collection. So this happens internally. Now don't assume too much, right? Just understand what scenes are going. Compiler is responsible to perform these tasks. Okay, Shikhar? Or then other confusions are also there. Shikhar, it's okay or you are not okay with it? Okay. Suppose there is a class student, right? So yesterday what Sumit has told you that array list, st list, right, is equal to new array list. And if you don't control space, and then it will be imported, right? So here you can add a st list, just copy it and declare a main method, and inside add the data. That's not suggesting that. Okay, so what is the thing is that this variable is non-static, right, and we are using inside a static function, so that's why we have to declare it as static. Okay, now we can use this. Just because this was non-static and this was static, so inside a static function, static method, you have to use the static variables, right? St dot here you can add one what 101 st dot, here I will add the name, so you can see that string can be also added. St list dot add second 102 st list dot add Sumit, right? So this way we can use it. Now if I'll print this object sys out st list, this will print the student data, right? 101 Vandan, 102 Sumit, right? Now suppose I want to print it in a proper manner, then I have to use print details method. Print details, sys out student name plus what. Okay, because here we don't have defined the student name, right? We have to use class type of array list for that. Let it comment first time, but let me know that until here everybody got the thing right or not. Anybody has any questions related to it? because this array list class is present inside this package, right? If you not import this, then you cannot use this. Right? And last time I have told you that if you want to print the objects, right, if you want to print the objects, then go for the for each loop, right? You can see this array list is a class, right, and this is an variable, right, reference variable. If you want to print a object, you can say this is the object. Like if you want to make the object for this student class, student, then I will write like this, new student, right? So when I was telling this for each loop, I have added that point. Then if you want to print the objects, then you will need for each loop, right? So similarly, this array list is a class because it's starting from the caps, and the every first letter of every word is the capital. So this is a class. This is the standards that you will able to understand with these standards defined, right? So this array list is a class, and if you want to add data in it, so you have added like this, right? Now if you want to traverse, then use the for each loop. Although this object class is the super class of all the classes, and this array list doesn't know what type of data present in it, right? Suppose if this was the same type of data, then I can use like this. If this was the same type of data, then I may use like this. Just I shown to you. If this was same type of data, then you can use like this, array list for e, right? If this was the string only, so if it was generic, say if I define like this string, then you have to declare here as well, right? So you need to remove first this, right, and you have to provide here this list here and sys out string. Now print it. You can see Vandan and Sumit was printed. Let me comment this. Vandan and Sumit was printed, but this is the part of generics. Let me remove it first, right? I will remove this. If you pass generics, then you can only add string. Suppose if I have defined here string, then I can use only the string values. You can only add the string data, right? Now I have removed the generics. Just ignore that generics part first, but just understand now, right? Now I have removed the generics. Now I am trying to print string. So what it says, that type mismatch cannot convert from element type object to string, because this is an object, right? And you are forcing to print this integer value to string format, so it's confused. So you have to define super class for it, which is the object is the super class for all the classes, right? So now what happened, whatever type it will be, you will provide either the integer, either the string, either the integer again, and either the string again. It will not be confused. It says okay, whatever type I am getting, I will convert either to the object type, and it was converted to the object type, and it was printing data one by one. So I hope this is clear. If you don't know what type you get returned, just use the object type. And as I told you that if you want to print objects, then you have to use the for each loop, right? So this is the power of for each loop. You don't need to care about how much data, what size of data present in this array list. So you don't need to care about the size, you don't need to care about what much time the our loop should run. You don't need to worry about anything. This for each loop will does everything for you. Like here, you don't know the type of data what it will return. Suppose I add here st list dot add and one floating point. What happened? Okay, now I'll run this. You can see you have added a floating point number, right? It printed it. You don't need to care about the what type of the class is, right? You don't need to care about the class type. So just pass the object is the super for all. It will consider all type of data type, right? So but if you know, then prefer that, right? Just like I have shown with the string. If you knew that only string data is added to it, just write is a string like this, like I have shown to you. Just comment it.
Manan, this is a syntax for writing float, writing f in the
Last
101.45f. Why we are writing f here? This is the syntax.
actually, if you will not write this f, right? If you will not write this f, then it will consider as double, right? If I'll print this, then what is going to be printed? Let me show you. Will print only the number and it will ignore the some, and it will only consider it the as a double, right? Suppose I write like this, then it will print like this. Same data, just because of it is array list, it's considering, but same thing will not happen in array list. If you want to force it this floating point, just write it as these are the standards, and also this f means floating point, right? Otherwise, what is the double value? Double value is 101.25. Now how will you think that float consider how much size and the double consider how much size? So double is in, I don't know that, but I don't remember that 8 bytes in the C language, right? And similarly I think the same size gets with the Java also. So you have to tell this that this is the floating point number. Just explore these basic things in Java articles, right? But first understand that what the purpose of this object, right? You did understand this topic first. Don't worry about this one. You are not going to use these things, right? Okay, so I hope that today, if you want to iterate with the objects, you know that how to use the for each loop that I have already covered in my sessions. Because this is, previously we were printing the primitive types like integer I is equal to 1, I value to 10. Those were the primitive types. So simply I was using I to 0 and I till the size and whatever you use, right? But here we are using the objects. We need to iterate with the objects. This is the object, right? So how to iterate with the objects, you need to think about this. So this was the agenda for today. If you don't know, but point to be noted, that if you don't know what type of objects, what type of data type present inside my array list, then this object class you need to define the array list variable here, and here you have to define a variable for that, and this will print all the data present in it. Okay, so tomorrow I'll be covering up class type array list.